Lesbians! Now that I have your attention, here's an update video. So some of you may be wondering where I have been for the last few months, and it's a long story. Basically, just after episode 18 of Lost in Reach finished, I had to get set to move. And move we did. The thing is though, it wasn't just that simple. It wasn't so simple as I just get my stuff together, go to a new house, and just pick up from there. I actually had to stay at the same area so I could finish up my semester at college. So we moved mid-March. I stayed at the new house for about a week for spring break, and then I packed back up certain stuff, and I stayed with Casey and his family for about a month and a half. And I am very grateful that I was able to stay up there to complete the semester, and also to have people who were very supportive around me and very kind people. So I cannot thank Casey and his family enough for letting me stay with them for that length of time. Other than finishing the semester, my plan while staying there was to get stuff done for Lost in Reach, particularly getting scripts done and people's lines. Well, at least that's what did get done anyway, except for body acting for one scene for episode 19. Most of the voice acting is done for the season, other than my own, Nick's, Connor's, and Casey's. Casey's is about halfway done, but sometime I'm gonna go back up to see them and visit and get his lines done, as well as Jesse's lines for the pilot of a Jesse spin-off series called Jesse vs. the World. Jesse vs. the World is going to take place immediately after the events of Lost in Reach Season 3, and is going to feature Jesse back on Earth, which is going to be represented by Halo 3, and he's going to move in with an alien named Wort McBlargington and just sort of have crazy misadventures, if you can call them that. It's very much going to be a sitcom, and Jesse and I have been talking back and forth about it for a little while. The pilot script is finished, and Jesse did get some lines done for the first couple scenes, so I may actually be able to put together a little bit of that in the near future. However, the reason why episode 19 has been at sort of a standstill for some time is primarily because I can't focus on it. In short, I have ADD, attention deficit disorder, not to be confused with ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. ADHD is when you have poor or no impulse control at all. ADD is when you do have, at the very least, some decent impulse control. And I currently don't have health insurance for reasons I shall not disclose, so I cannot get my Adderall, which means that my focus has been all over the place, which is kind of bad, really, because I've been looking for a job, and focusing on applications is a bit difficult. I jump every which way, and it sucks. But speaking of projects, I have a new show that I've had in the conceptual phase for about a year now that's finally being brought to light. I just recorded a game for it last night called The Backlog. Basically, as someone who plays and loves video games, as you get older and you get more games, you have less time to play them. So you start building up this back catalog of games that you haven't really gotten to play much, if at all. And so this show is a way of me going through the backlog that I have accumulated, as well as share my thoughts on these games that I've waited so long to play. The first of these games is going to be Tony Hawk's Pro Skater for the original PlayStation. I have been a fan of the Tony Hawk series since Underground 2. I played it in 2005 at my cousin's house, and when I had my original PS2, I actually went out and bought Pro Skater 3, 4, Underground 1 and 2, and American Wasteland basically immediately. The style of the show, the backlog, is basically it's a game review show in a sense, and it's in the style of a combination of the Angry Video Game Nerd, Some Call Me Johnny, and Gerard Khalil. If you don't know who any of those people are, then I highly recommend checking them out. I'm not really expecting this first episode of the backlog to be too long, maybe about 7 minutes long, because Pro Skater is a short game. It only took me about 2 hours to complete. But you'll see more about that in the video. And if you want more of the backlog after I finish and bring out that first episode, then please let me know. I would love to do something new especially since Lost in Reach is currently going through a short state of downtime and I want to do something a bit simple. I think this is kind of simple. Just record a game, write something down and my thoughts on it. It's not as much work as Lost in Reach. Not that I don't want to do Lost in Reach anymore, but it's something that I can split my focus on a bit more favorably, because episode 19 of Lost in Reach, it's about halfway through the editing process, and it's sort of at a standstill until I got my meds next month. But another project that I am sort of working a bit more on now is something I've wanted to do for about 2 years. About 2 years ago, I uploaded a machinima called Station 18. It wasn't too long, and it was pretty simple. Station 18 was an entry in a student media festival, and one of the prerequisites for any video was that it be 7 minutes in length or shorter. And I had to rewrite the script a couple times, and I had to cut a significant amount of stuff down from the ending in post. And it's really sad because Station 18 could have been good. It still won first place. I've got the certificate and ribbon to prove it. See? First place. It's just that I wanted to revisit it, remake it for some time because it felt very incomplete and rushed. However, I'm considering doing a follow-up to it instead. The basic premise is basically someone has been hired to go check out the ruins of the station sometime later and discovers exactly what's been going on there, and actually goes into a bit more detail about what happened. To help prepare for that in terms of conceptualizing and writing, I've been playing Metroid Prime, which has been in my backlog, and the reason why it's not going to be on the backlog is because it's a Nintendo game, and Nintendo has become Nazis about their games being used in YouTube videos. Sorry. But for what it's worth, I'm really liking it. There's one other thing worth mentioning. I got a kitty! His name is Kefka, and I rescued him. My friend Tyler, the voice of Xanadu in Lost in Reach Season 3, Pure Xanadu. He works at an animal clinic, and he was one of 2 kittens that survived when a local stray gave birth. He is the only one to survive. His brother died, possibly because he was allergic to the shots he was given. So I took this little bugger home, and Tyler's a big fan of Final Fantasy. We were shooting the shit about the series, and I decided to name him Kefka after the villain of Final Fantasy VI, the Game Boy Advance port of which I acquired very recently. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi, Kefka. No, that's the microphone. That's the microphone. Aww. He's a little shithead. So that's, wow, the sun's coming out. So that's pretty much all there is to say about where I've been. It's a long time coming now. I want to finish Lost in Reach Season 3 this year, and I've got plans for more machinima, Lost in Reach related and not. With that said, thank you guys for watching and being patient. I've seen the subscriber count just steadily rise just a tiny little bit. So newcomers, this is for you to tell you why I haven't been around, and if you want more regular updates from me, please follow me on Twitter and like the N07 Facebook page, because I'm much more active on there than I am with posting update videos. It's just a lot simpler than setting up the camera and the tripod and the Yeti pop filter film. Just like those, and you can see basically what I'm doing when I'm not making a video that pertains to making a video. So, see ya. Kefka. Psst. No.